We do provide due diligence services, among others, and connect you to those companies. We don't only focus on foreign companies that are looking to invest in Ghana, we also focus on Ghanaian companies that are looking to expand and better understand the market. We have a host of industry experts that help you understand that.
We work for a number of brands in Ghana as well as global. We work for brands like ABSA, formerly Barclays Bank. We work for International SOS. We work for Honda. We work for Jetro and a whole host of other firms, and we have clients in Ghana and across the globe. So we are happy to extend our services to you as well and to serve you. Our name is Famous, which simply means reliable in Latin, and we are simply inspired to deliver value.
Are you traveling to Nigeria? Maybe you have applied online on the online visa platform. It is stuck in there. You are not hearing feedback from them, and yet you have an urgent pending travel just around the corner. Don't worry. Famous Advisory provides visa on arrival services. In 48 hours, we will get you sorted. All you need to do is to send us your passport scan copy, your flight booking, and your passport size photo. We provide 100% money back guarantee for your visa on arrival service. If we don't get it for you, we will pay you back. We handle all the documents that needs to go with the application, the introductory documents, and all you need, give you the peace of mind, and we ensure fast and safe delivery of your visa permit. We've served many nationalities, including Americans and people all over the world. Reach out to us on the contact below, and we'll be happy to get you sorted.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the time is, from where you're joining from. Welcome. We are so glad that you're joining us for this webinar this morning. So my name is Joy Neburago, and I work as a legal compliance executive for Famous Advisory Nigeria. And so this morning we'll be discussing or answering frequently asked questions on food registration with NAFDAC, as well as food safety compliance with NAFDAC regulations. So once again, you are welcome. Please let us know where you're joining from. Maybe you're joining from UK, you're joining from US. Tell us your name in the chat box and where you're joining from. Also, let us know if you are an importer or a manufacturer of food products to Nigeria. Once again, welcome. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now so we can get right into it. Okay, please let me know in the chat box if you can see my screen. Just let me know in the chat box. Can you see my screen? Can you hear me? Okay. All right, so as I've mentioned, we'll be answering some questions, frequently asked questions on NAFDAC food registration and safety compliance. We'll be looking at a lot of things when it comes to food registration and safety compliance with NAFDAC, including documentation, timeline, cost, and related questions. Okay, so the first question is, what products need NAFDAC license before I can import or I can sell them in Nigeria? So every product that is NAFDAC, that is tagged NAFDAC regulated product, whether it is food, whether it's drugs, cosmetics, medical devices, including software or physical medical devices, chemicals, some chemicals, not all chemicals, some chemicals, packaged water, your drink, falls under what is tagged NAFDAC regulated products. So, but for the purpose of this webinar, we'll just limit our questions to food registration. This also applies to restaurant business owners as well. So if there are restaurant business owners here, you're in the right place. Just sit back and we will answer all the questions that you've been asking when it comes to NAFDAC regulations. All right, so the second question is, can I import food products into Nigeria without a NAFDAC license? So this applies to foreign manufacturers. The short answer is no. No, you cannot import food products into Nigeria without a NAFDAC license. Every food product that you import into Nigeria, whether in large quantities, in small quantities, and they are intended for sale into the country, you have to get those products registered with NAFDAC before you can start selling. Matter of fact, you would require what is called an import permit that will be issued from NAFDAC itself to you during the registration process before you can even bring. And even then, the import permit allows you to bring only samples of the products. So you can't even bring the large quantities with an import permit until after the registration is completed. So then the next question, what are the requirements for food product registration with NAFDAC? So to register your food products with NAFDAC, you need certain documents, including your completed application form. Now, this application form can be downloaded on NAFDAC websites, NAFDAC administration, product administration website, that's NAPAMS. You also need a CSC certificate, whether it's your company's certificate or you, for instance, are using a consultant. You will need their certificate to apply for your product registration. Then you will also need an evidence of trademark or brand name registration. You will also need a notarized declaration. So this notarized declaration is a standard form from NAFDAC itself. Then again, you would need your product labels. Of course, every food product has to have a label on it. So you would need a product label, or if you have not yet, designed and printed a product label, an artwork that shows what the product label will look like is also sufficient. Then payment to NAFDAC. You also need product samples. Then again, you will need your GMP certificate. GMP certificate is your Good Manufacturing Practice certificate. Then you will need a contract manufacturing agreement for those that say it is your company, but you are not the actual manufacturer. Then you will need a contract manufacturing agreement signed by both yourself, that's you, the owner of the company, and the manufacturer. Then you will need a certificate of fee sale. This applies to foreign products. A certificate of analysis with the letterhead of the laboratory where the analysis was taken, and this applies to imported food products as well. Same for the power of attorney. You also need a power of attorney, donating power to your local representatives for imported food products to register those products on your behalf and NAFDAC will communicate to you through them. Okay, so moving on. The fourth question is, what is NAFDAC import permit? So like I've mentioned, NAFDAC import permit is a document that allows you to import very few and limited number of food products or whatever product it is you're registering, but for the purpose of this webinar, so it allows you to import very limited food products into the country. And the purpose of bringing those food products is just basically to import your samples so that it can be taken to the laboratory for laboratory tests and analysis before your registration is completed, and then you can import large quantities. The import permit is valid for 1 year, and you have just 1 year to bring those food products into Nigeria, to bring those food products into Nigeria. So if after 1 year, you've still not brought the samples, then that import permit becomes invalid and you can no longer use it for your registration. You have to pay for another import permit. So that's what your import permit allows you to do. Then the fifth question, how can I register my food product with NAFDAC? So this is just basically asking the procedure or the steps. So you can register your food products either by yourself through your company, if you have a company registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission, that's the CAC, or for foreign products or for imported products, and you don't have a company in Nigeria here, you have to necessarily or mandatorily appoint a local agent or a local representative to facilitate the registration process on your behalf. So the question of how to register, you can either register with your CAC documents, or you can let a consultant register the food products for you. Then for foreign manufacturers, you have to, NAFDAC mandates you to appoint a local representative if you do not yet have a registered company in Nigeria. So the steps to take are, start with getting your business registered, then also trademark your brand name or your mark or your logo, whatever it is you're using to promote your product. Then also write an application letter after you've gotten your trademark, you've gotten your business registered. The first step to take when it comes to NAFDAC is to write an application letter to the NAFDAC for registration of the product. You can get, afterwards, then you buy the form, the application form on NAFDAC website, as I've said, NAPAM's website. The form can be found there. Then also upload the required documents on NAPAM's. You will also be required to, after you've uploaded all the documents, you've paid, you'll also be required to submit hard copies to the closest NAFDAC liaison office to you. So, and then it's at this point that you will bring in your original copies for citing. Then afterwards, the next step is that the products move for NAFDAC officials go for inspection of your facility. So if it's a foreign facility, NAFDAC officials will have to travel down to the country of manufacture, whether it's India, regardless of the country, NAFDAC officials will have to travel down there to go for an inspection of the facility to confirm that the quality that you claim that the products have, they are assured of that quality. So for every facility, whether it's in Nigeria, whether it's abroad, NAFDAC will go for an inspection. Then they will also issue import permits. So some of the procedures happen concurrently, so they're happening at the same time. They will also issue an import permit, as I've mentioned, to let you bring samples of the product. And then afterwards, if your facility inspection is satisfactory, they will also take the products for laboratory testing, and the products will be tested. Then a laboratory report will be issued. mind you, you'll be paying for these steps because there's a cost for laboratory testing, there's a cost for import permit, there's a cost for facility inspection. So you'll be paying for this step along the way. Then after the laboratory testing, they will issue what is called a laboratory report. If your manufacturing facility inspection is satisfactory, your laboratory report is satisfactory, the next stage is it will move to an approval meeting. So at an approval meeting, they will look at all the processes that have gone into the registration procedure. And if everything is satisfactory, your documents are vetted and they are satisfactory, your laboratory report is okay, your facility is according to NAFDAC standards, they will issue what is called a notification of your registration, and that also comes with your certificate. So, but then again, if for instance, your facility inspection is not satisfactory or your laboratory test is not satisfactory, NAFDAC will issue what is called a compliance directive, letting you know what exactly is not satisfactory, and then you have to comply with whatever they let you know that is unsatisfactory to them. But if everything is satisfactory, then you'll be issued your certificate of registration. So that's pretty much the steps to take when it comes to NAFDAC food product registration. So the next question is, okay, so we've talked about this. What steps can I take to register my food products? Then the next question, why do I need to register my food products with NAFDAC? So you need to register your food products with NAFDAC for all the obvious reasons. The first is that you'll be complying with regulations. And the flip side of that is when you don't comply, there will be sanctions, there will be penalties that will lead to the loss of your investments, loss of your goods, your products. So you also need to register your food products with NAFDAC to avoid those sanctions and penalties. Then another reason you need to register your food products with NAFDAC is that registration builds trust in your consumers. So if I see a product, a food product, because it's going inside my body, and I know the role that NAFDAC plays when it comes to food registration, talk about all the facility inspection, testing the products to ensure that they are safe for consumption. And I find the NAFDAC registration number on those products, it builds trust that, okay, this product is safe, at least on the surface, it's safe to eat. Then another reason you need to register your food products with NAFDAC is it builds your brand reputation. One of the documents that you need to process your NAFDAC registration is your trademark. So you have your trademark registered, and another way it builds brand reputation is for every product that has a NAFDAC registration number on it, consumers are sure that, oh, okay, this product is safe, I can eat it. And then, the more you renew, the more you comply with these regulations, it helps your brand improve in the long run. Then the last reason is you need to register your food products with NAFDAC because we are talking about public health and public safety here. So, and that is one of the goals of NAFDAC, basically, to ensure that food is safe for consumption and for the public health and safety in general. The next question, can one application cover multiple food products? So apparently one application will not suffice for multiple food products. So if you have, as a manufacturer, let's assume you are registering or you are producing or manufacturing maybe ice cream and bread and fruit juice, you are producing all that in your manufacturing facility. There are like sections and lines for them, for these different products. It doesn't matter that it is the same manufacturer. You have to make a separate application for each of those products. Then there are instances where they are producing the same products, but different variations of those products. For instance, you are producing ice cream or bread, and you have chocolate flavor, you have strawberry flavor, or whatever the flavor is. So NAFDAC regards them as food variants. So even if the only difference in the product is just that flavor, but it's the same product by and large, you have to apply for a separate registration for each of those flavors because they are regarded as food variants. So if your company decides to maybe adjust the formulation of those products, say ice cream, for instance, by maybe reducing the sugar content or adding another flavor or just changing something very minute in the product. Or maybe you have even registered one product before and you change something in your product, maybe sugar content or salt content or whatever you change in it, you have to apply for a separate registration for that particular product. Okay, so another question people ask is, what are the NAFDAC requirements for inspection of packaged water facility? So because packaged water falls under food, we are answering these questions. So you need a food handler's test. Your food handler's test is one of the documents that you need when preparing for NAFDAC inspection of your packaged water. So whether it's sachet water, it's bottled water, you need a food handler's test. And your food handler's test basically just confirms the health status that the persons who come directly in contact with the water or with the food, they are fit to actually carry on that job. So you need a food handler's test. It includes sputum tests. It also includes radar tests and some other tests. Then you also need the analysis of the materials that you are using, your raw materials. You also need a fumigation agreement with a fumigation company, not the fumigation certificate itself. You will need a fumigation certificate, then you also need an agreement because you have to keep renewing that certificate. So you will need an agreement with a fumigation company. Then you also need the list of your production facilities. If you have production facilities in all the 30 states of Nigeria, you will need to provide that list to NAFDAC. Then you also need to show NAFDAC your standard operating procedures. Standard operating procedures for quality control, how you control the quality of your products, for your production, for your recalls. Recalls, in case a product is found to be less than standard, you've already produced, registered, and it's sent out there to the public, and then you need to recall, you need to have a standard operating procedure for recalls, as well as your distribution. How do you distribute your products? Because it's food. I mean, if it's moving from one place to another, you need to let NAFDAC know how you're moving those products from one place to another. Then you will need a retainership with a hospital or clinic. I think this is basically for the food handlers test. So you will need a hospital to partner with you and retain them for any test or whatever it is NAFDAC asks you for when it comes to hospitals and clinics. Then you need your company organogram and the credentials of your key staff, the ones who handle the food, package it. You will need a credentials of all of them. Okay, so moving on, please, if you have any further questions after the webinar, if you have any questions as the webinar is going, you can use the Q&A chat box to leave your questions and we'll answer those ones right after the webinar. So another question people ask when it comes to NAFDAC food registration is, what are the NAFDAC labeling requirements for food products? So generally, your labels, I'm sure we all know what labels are. So your labels should be written in English language. For imported food products, if your labels are written in another language, ensure that you have an English translation of the label. Your label should also include your brand name or your generic name. For instance, Coca-Cola, for instance, that's a brand name. Your label should include a brand name. It could have any other name, but your brand name must be there. You should also include your manufacturer's name, the manufacturer's name. So if you are not a manufacturer, let's assume you have a contract manufacturing agreement and you are not a manufacturer, you only package. So what will be on your label should be manufactured by so company and then packaged by so company, ABC company. So you also need the address of the manufacturer, then NAFDAC registration number. So because this is the registration process, you've not yet gotten a NAFDAC registration number, you can just make a provision for it. So you can just have NAFDAC registration number and then just leave the place blank. And then after your registration, you can add your number to the label. Then you also need your batch number to be on your labels. So for every product that you produce, you will need a batch number unique to that particular product in case of recalls. Then you will need your manufacturing dates and as well as your expiry dates. You also need your dosage form strength and your net content, the net content of that food product. So these are just like the minimum standard for when it comes to labeling. But NAFDAC has a detailed labeling guideline or document, and it will be useful or you can do well to look at those guidelines. So at Famous Advisory, we have been able to sort of simplify the labeling requirements. We have articles, several of them for different products on our website, so you can check it out. We can't have all of that on the slides presentation, but the ones that I've mentioned, it should be in English language. It should have your brand or generic name, your manufacturer's details, NAFDAC registration number, a space for it, your batch number, manufacturing, and best before dates. These are like the minimum that should be on it. All right, so moving on. The next section is, what is a NAFDAC Good Manufacturing Practice Certificate? So a NAFDAC Good Manufacturing Practice Certificate is issued following an inspection of the manufacturing facility. It confirms that the facility is up to standard with NAFDAC regulations, NAFDAC's expectations or guidelines, and that your quality assurance is satisfactory. So another question people ask is, how many samples do I need for product registration with NAFDAC? So for product registration, for food registration, or any kind of products, for food registration, you will need, the samples will depend on how you package your products. So if, for instance, you are producing maybe vegetable oil, or you are producing ice cream, and you have, for the same product, you have maybe 500 liters or 500 grams, depending on what it is, whether it's solid or liquid. NAFDAC also has a detailed guideline for samples. So depending on the packaging size, they could say 500 grams, maybe just being only 2 containers, or 200 grams, just maybe bring 3 or 5 of it. So there is a document on NAFDAC website that you can actually check out to know how many samples exactly you need. So another question that people ask when it comes to food product registration is, do I need a separate registration for each flavor of drink products? Yes, as I mentioned earlier. So because there are different flavors, they are regarded as product variants. So you have to register them separately. You have strawberry drinks, you have blackcurrant, you have raspberry drinks, but they are from the same brand name, the same product. The only difference is the flavor. Yes, of course, you need a different separate registration for it. So the next question is, how much does it cost to register a food product with NAFDAC? So when it comes to cost, this depends on the scale of your production. So with NAFDAC, there are different scales. They have classified manufacturing facilities or production as micro scale, or in some cases, kitchen or cottage, small scale, medium, and large. So depending on the scale of your production, the cost differs. And then if it's an imported food product, of course, the cost will differ. So depending on the scale, the cost is between 60,000 naira to 145,000 naira. For micro scale, it could be less than even 60,000, but this includes facility inspection, registration of the product, laboratory analysis, and some other things. For manufacturing facilities, the cost is between 12,000 US dollars to 13,000 US dollars. And the reason it's this high is because of the manufacturing facility. So NAFDAC travels out to conduct those inspections. So the client or the customer or applicant is the one who foots for that bill. So the cost is between 12,000 US dollars to 13,000 US dollars. Okay, so the next question people ask when it comes to food product registration with NAFDAC is, do foreign factories or facilities get inspected by NAFDAC before product registration? The simple answer is yes, as I've mentioned before. Then what is the validity of NAFDAC certificate? So NAFDAC certificate is valid for 5 years, and afterwards you have to renew that certificate for another 5 years. So you pay for a renewal, initiate the renewal process, and you renew. The validity of the certificate is 5 years. So as you renew, you can use that certificate for at least 5 years. How long does it take to register a food product with NAFDAC? So the standard turnaround time when it comes to NAFDAC food registration is between 90 to 120 days, which is about 3 to 4 months. But then again, this will depend on, are your documents accurate? Are your documents standard? Are they even complete? Is it what NAFDAC wants? Are there compliance directives? Maybe your laboratory analysis did not come out satisfactory. You'll be issued a compliance directive. So all of those steps, and sometimes some applicants don't have their trademark certificate or trademark acceptance yet. So that also impacts on the time it will take for you to register one food product. The next question is, can food supplements be classified under food registration? Food supplements cannot be classified under food registration. Food supplements are applied for under drug registration with NAFDAC. Another question people ask when it comes to food product registration is NAFDAC facility inspection, and this is usually asked by foreigners, is NAFDAC facility inspection done for every new food product registration? Well, so your GMP certificate, which is your Good Manufacturing Practice certificate, is issued following a facility inspection. So if you have a new food product and it is valid for 3 years, your Good Manufacturing Practice certificate is valid for 3 years. So if within that 3 years you have a new food product that you want to register with NAFDAC, then there will be no need to conduct a fresh facility inspection. All you just need to do is show your, attach your Good Manufacturing Practice certificate to your documents for registration. But if your Good Manufacturing Practice certificate is expired, then NAFDAC will have to conduct a fresh facility inspection for you. Then also for imported food products, NAFDAC has what is called a risk categorization of facilities. So usually facility inspection is done after every 3 years, but there are some maybe manufacturing sites or countries. For instance, the NAFDAC will have to conduct more than one facility inspection, maybe within 2 years or even that same year. So it all depends on which categorization. This applies to just foreign manufacturers. So the next question is, do I need a NAFDAC certificate to export my food products? This is particularly to food products that are manufactured in Nigeria. Yes, you need a NAFDAC certificate to export your food products. So no product is to be sold, imported, exported, distributed in and out of Nigeria without a NAFDAC approval. So yes, you need a NAFDAC certificate to export your food products out of Nigeria. Then another question is, do I need NAFDAC certificate to import personal items or food products? No, you don't need NAFDAC certificate to import personal items or food products, except those products are going to be sold in Nigeria. Then you don't need NAFDAC certificate for them. If you're just buying for maybe you just want to give a relative or you want to use it for your personal use, then you don't need to register those products with NAFDAC. Okay, so another question is, do I need a trademark certificate to register my products with NAFDAC? If you have a trademark certificate, that suffices. If you don't, what NAFDAC requires is just an evidence that you have started the process. And this is usually your trademark acceptance. So because trademark registration is in 2 phases, there is an acceptance to say, okay, the name is available or your brand name has not been used, it's not similar to any mark, we'll give you an acceptance. So that acceptance that is issued to you from the Ministry of Trade and Investment is sufficient to register your products with NAFDAC. So you don't necessarily need a NAFDAC, a trademark certificate rather. So if you have a trademark acceptance, it is sufficient. Then if you have a trademark certificate as well, it is also sufficient. Then the another question is, can I use a business name to register with NAFDAC? Yes, you can use your business name to register with NAFDAC. It doesn't necessarily have to be a company. So yes, you can use a business name. A business name is different from a company. So you can use your business name to register with NAFDAC. Then the next question is there a fast-track procedure for registration and what is the cost? Yes, there is a fast-track procedure, and the cost for it is double the cost for one product registration. So if, for instance, it will cost you for imported food products, for instance, it will cost you $700 to register just one product, and you want to fast-track the procedure rather, then you'll be paying $1,400 to register that product. That's aside the other costs that are involved. But when it comes to fast-track procedure, you also need to have at the back of your mind that the turnaround time may still be the same with a normal procedure, the normal food registration procedure. For all the reasons that I mentioned earlier, if there are compliance directives, if your documents are not in the correct format, you would need to comply. If your laboratory report comes out as unsatisfactory or your facility inspection comes out as unsatisfactory, it will also impact on the timeline that it will take to register with just without a fast-track procedure. Okay, so moving on, another question is the NAFDAC GMP certificate issued for the facility or for each product? NAFDAC Good Manufacturing Practice Certificate is issued for your facility, not for each product. So if you have a new product that you produce within the year, within the validity period of your Good Manufacturing Practice Certificate, then all you need is just to present it, like I've said before. Then another question is, what food safety standards must restaurants meet under NAFDAC regulations? So for restaurants, you need to ensure that your house is in order. And by that, I mean, you need to have a food handler's test for those who come in contact, directly in contact with the food. You also need to ensure that the environment is neat, it is well ventilated. So there is a NAFDAC food hygiene guideline for both restaurants, manufacturers of prepackaged food, but particularly for restaurants, you need to have that document at your fingertips. So you need to ensure that the people who are serving, the people who are who come in contact with the food directly are medically fit. The environment is well ventilated, it is neat, you dispose your waste appropriately, and you comply with other regulations that are not even NAFDAC regulations. So again, there is a NAFDAC food hygiene document guideline that you can have at your fingertips, and for compliance, you need to have that document and ensure that you've complied with every single regulation within the document. You can also reach out to us and we'll share these guidelines with you. Then the next question is, what is NAFDAC food handler's test? So I've mentioned it's just basically to confirm that the persons who come directly in contact with your food, they are medically fit. It includes a blood test, a sputum test, readout test. There are several tests that it includes. So you can visit a health facility and conduct these tests for them. So when NAFDAC comes for inspection, this is part of the documents that they take a look at, whether it's for restaurant owners or manufacturers and importers of food. Another question is, do I need a NAFDAC license to operate my restaurant or fast food outlet? So a lot of fast food outlets they are not aware of the fact that they need what is called a good hygienic practice certificate or a good house practice certificate. So a good hygienic practice certificate or a good house practice certificate is issued to you after NAFDAC inspects your restaurants. So many restaurants in Nigeria, I'm sure, don't have this certificate. So, but it's essential. And once you set up and you're about to start or open your restaurant, it's essential for you to write a letter to NAFDAC and invite them to come for inspection. It is after the inspection that they will issue the certificate to you. Don't forget that NAFDAC engages in what's called routine inspections. So if NAFDAC happens to visit your facility, your restaurant or your fast food outlet, and you do not have that certificate, then you'll be penalized. So moving on, can I import food products in my supermarket without NAFDAC registration? So NAFDAC has a scheme that is called Global Listing of Supermarket Items. There are certain products that are just to be sold in supermarkets. These supermarkets are registered with NAFDAC. And if you want to import certain food products in large quantities, different food products, it's under review. You may not need to register every single product. But then again, NAFDAC is reviewing her guidelines, and maybe in the future, you'll be required to register. But so far, and also it's also within NAFDAC's discretion. So they can ask to register certain of the products, then you need to register them, and then some others you may not need to register. But again, like I mentioned, this is under review, and you probably need to register in the future, all of those products. And within a year, you can only import a certain number of products into your supermarket. Another question is, can I register food products? Can I register food products made from my home kitchen with NAFDAC? Yes, you can register food products made from your home kitchen with NAFDAC. So as I mentioned before, NAFDAC regards these facilities as cottage or kitchen scale. This is not even, or it may even fall under micro. but NAFDAC refers to them as cottage or kitchen scale production. Yes, you can register your food products made from your home kitchen. However, because it's in the home, some manufacturers, and this relates to, this has to do with food products that are manufactured in Nigeria. So because it's in your home kitchen, the NAFDAC hygiene guidelines also applies to you. So you have to ensure that the environment, the production area is clean, is neat, safe. You could even be the only one, doesn't matter. But then you have to ensure that you have very good hygienic practice, and NAFDAC will also inspect it. Yes. So regardless of the fact that it is done in your home kitchen, NAFDAC will inspect the production area to ensure that it meets their standard. Then another question is, are there penalties for selling or importing unregistered food products? Yes, obviously there are. There are fines that you pay. Your goods can be destroyed, burnt, and mind you, when they are destroying or burning those products, you'll be the one to pay for it. You will pay for them, the procedure and all of the things they will have to do to destroy those products. So imagine that it's just better to comply with our regulations, with NAFDAC regulations, and there could even be imprisonment terms. So, okay, so another question is, what do I do if I want other distributors to import my food products? So this applies basically to foreign manufacturers and imported food products. So what you can do if you want to change distributors, or you want other distributors other than the one that registered your food product, or that has that food product registered in their company name, then the intending distributors, that's the new distributors, will have to apply for a letter of no objection. The current distributor will issue that letter to the intending distributors via the application. So that's how you get other importers or distributors to import your food products with NAFDAC. Then the next question is, what do I do if I terminate the relationship with my previous local representative? So if you terminate the relationship with your previous local representative, you have to notify NAFDAC. This is for foreign manufacturers. You have to notify NAFDAC of that change. You will need, for a company, you will need your board resolution authorizing that change. You need to show NAFDAC that this was the power of attorney that we issued to the previous representative and it has been revoked. So we need to show NAFDAC or notify NAFDAC of that revocation. Then you also need the power of attorney that you have given to your new local representative. Then you pay the required amount, and once NAFDAC finalizes on that process, you can proceed with the new local representative. Then the next question is, at what point during registration can I sell my food product? So whether it's imported or manufactured in Nigeria, you cannot sell your food products before you receive your certificate. So at the point where you get your NAFDAC, your issuance, your notification that your certificate is ready, then you can sell your food products. But if you are yet to get that certificate and you sell your food products, then you are not complying with NAFDAC regulations. So it is at the point where you receive your certificate that you can sell your food products. Can I advertise my food products during registration? So that's the next question. So NAFDAC issues what is called an advertisement permit. So even after you have registered your food products with NAFDAC, you are not allowed to advertise those food products until you've gotten an advertisement permit from NAFDAC. And that's a separate application altogether. So you need to apply for an advertisement permit before you can advertise those products even after you have gotten your NAFDAC registration number, you've gotten your certificates. You will have to apply for a separate advertisement permit to advertise your food products. Then another question is, can NAFDAC suspend a license after it has been issued? Yes, it is within NAFDAC's prerogative to suspend a license after during the validity period of that license. Then the next question is, are frozen foods subject to NAFDAC registration? Yes, frozen foods are subject to NAFDAC registration. So if you have a facility and all you do is just to produce frozen foods, frozen meat products, frozen dairy products, frozen fish products, and you package them for sale to the public, yes, you need to register those frozen foods with NAFDAC. Then again, people also ask, how can I renew my NAFDAC certificate and how much does it cost? So the cost, you can renew your NAFDAC certificate by almost the same way you apply for a new registration. So you log on to NAPAMS, which is NAFDAC Product Administration website. Of course, you obviously have an account as an applicant, or if you're using a local representative, they will have an account. Then you just go to a particular product and apply for a renewal. You'll be issued an invoice. After you make your payment, so the cost is 80% of new product registration. So instead of paying the full amount, what you'll be paying is 80% of your product registration. Once you're issued an invoice and you make payment, if NAFDAC needs to conduct a facility inspection, if your GMP certificate is expired, then that will also be added to the cost and your facility will be inspected. So once everything is satisfactory, your renewal will be approved. Okay, so we are slowly coming to the end of the questions. This question says, can I transfer ownership of my NAFDAC registration? Yes, you can transfer ownership of your NAFDAC registration. And this can happen in two ways. So for foreign manufacturers, because their product is registered in the name of the company of their local representative, they may maybe want to revoke that license or that power and then give power to a different company altogether to act as a local representative. So the transfer can happen for foreign manufacturers in that instance. Then all you need to do is just follow the procedure for change of a local representative. Then you may have even another form is that you probably assign those products to another person. By assign, I mean sell the ownership of those products of NAFDAC now to another manufacturer or to another company, and you change name apparently. So the ownership of those products have changed hands. You have to notify NAFDAC of that change. For that, you would need your board resolution and certain other documents. You make payments and you can change the name of the owners of those products with NAFDAC. Then the last question is, if a restaurant starts producing packaged food, does it need to register the products with NAFDAC? Yes, you need to register your products, your food products, as long as they are packaged. Even if you have a good house practice certificate as a restaurant business, you have to apply separately for those products that you produce within your restaurant facility as prepackaged food. You have to get a NAFDAC approval for each of those products. Okay, we've wrapped up the questions. So I'm checking for questions. Someone is asking if the producer is already NAFDAC registered, do I still need a separate registration for my own brand or packaging? So if the producer is already NAFDAC registered, do I need a separate registration for my own brand or packaging? Well, in this case, because the brand and packaging is different, and so what is registered with NAFDAC is products and not necessarily producers or a manufacturing facility. It is products that are registered with NAFDAC. So a producer will not necessarily be registered. They may have registered certain other products with NAFDAC, but then you will need a separate registration because your brand and packaging is different. So yes, you will need a separate registration. I hope that has answered that question. Okay, so someone is asking, in food, what is different between best before and expired or expiring date, which is best to be used in food? So they're basically the same. Best before could also mean expiry date. It means that it is best before that particular date or it will expire at that particular date. So you can use either of it. This person says, in some food label, how can you know when some consumers are not good to consume some chemicals in the food formulations? So I think this one has to do with your in-house compliance. So there's what is called laboratory analysis. That's where you do an analysis of your own products, even before you get to NAFDAC, and NAFDAC has to do a laboratory analysis of those products. So perhaps your laboratory analysis can help confirm that. But I don't know if there are other ways that you can know, because you're producing for the general public. So you might not necessarily know what might be safe for each and every person. But perhaps your laboratory analysis can, the report of your laboratory analysis or the result of your laboratory analysis can tell you that this is generally not safe for the public. Then another question someone is asking is, what are the steps NAFDAC takes to be 100% sure a particular food product is fake once? Well, so NAFDAC does what is called routine inspections. And if at the point of registration, so like I mentioned, there's facility inspection, there is laboratory analysis, and the laboratory analysis of a fake product, or I don't really know what this person means by fake, but the laboratory analysis can come out as unsatisfactory or satisfactory. So whatever NAFDAC result comes out to be, then you'll be notified of their decision. Okay, so there are no more questions here. Okay, so as we wrap up, there are certain key takeaways that I would like us to go with. Okay, someone else is asking, before we take our key takeaways, if I plan to export EU to EU, that's the European Union, does NAFDAC provide compliance certificates that supports European Union food safety approvals? If I plan to export to European Union, does NAFDAC provide compliance certificates that support European Union food safety approvals? Yes, there are certain certificates that NAFDAC will give to you. A certificate of free sale, certificate of analysis, whichever of them. But I know that there are certificates that NAFDAC can issue to you. For instance, I'm assuming this question is coming from a foreign manufacturer. So if you come into Nigeria and you register your own company and you are producing food products, and then you want to exports outside Nigeria, yes, NAFDAC has certain certificates that they will issue to you to, sell your food products to European countries within Europe. Okay, so that's all for the questions. Then key takeaways. So NAFDAC registration is mandatory again for all packaged food products. Ensure that your documents, your good manufacturing practice certificate and certain other certificates for water manufacturing facilities, for instance, your fumigation certificates, they are updated and they are current. So NAFDAC also has what is called current good manufacturing practice certificate. So aside the first good manufacturing practice certificate that's issued to you, there is also what is called a current good manufacturing practice certificate. It means that the document is current. Then you should also stay abreast. There are several guidelines and resources on NAFDAC websites that can help you comply. On our website, Famous Advisory, we also have articles that we've tried to simplify to help you understand what NAFDAC expects from you as a manufacturer or importer. Then you should also keep your labels in compliance with NAFDAC labeling requirements. Again, the ones that were listed during the webinar were just the minimum standards, and there are detailed labeling requirements. Then again, it is cheaper to comply. And lastly, non-compliance can result to penalties, fines, imprisonment, seizures, and destruction of your food products. And with that, we've come to the end of the webinar. I hope we've gotten one or two answered all our questions that we've been wanting to ask when it comes to food product registration with NAFDAC. They've been answered. So thank you so much for sticking with us and staying to the end of the webinar. So at Famous Advisory, we're a business consulting firm operating in 3 areas. Our headquarters in Ghana, and here at the Nigerian office, we also do basically the same thing. So we are into regulatory compliance, which includes tax compliance as well, helping your business comply with several regulatory bodies. We also carry on market research services as well as trade development services. These are some of our clients that we have serviced over the years. You can visit us at our office in Lekki. You can give us a call, reach out to us on WhatsApp, reach out to us on Instagram, visit our website to check out our articles on NAFDAC registration for a variety of products. So thank you, good morning, and see you in our next webinars.
Famous Advisory Limited is a consulting firm established in 2013 based in Accra, Ghana, where we provide 3 core services. Number 1 being regulatory compliance, 2 is market research, and trade development. Our regulatory compliance division is a division where we basically take care of a company that is expanding here into Ghana. We provide core services from company formation, immigration related services, company secretarial, as well as other key licenses that are required for every new business that is expanded into Ghana. Here at Famous, what we've sought to do basically is to bring under one roof all the key services that you need. And really, our strength and our unique selling proposition is the fact that with us, you don't have to move from agency to agency to get your issues sorted. With us, you're able to have subject matter expert who can speak to tax, who can speak to immigration, who can speak to company registration, and will take care of your company and provide you solutions that help you have the peace of mind to work and to start your business here in Ghana.
So our research and trade development services focuses on providing insights as well as market analysis for existing companies as well as companies that are looking to invest in Ghana. For trade development, we focus on connecting markets. So if you're a Ghanaian company looking for a potential partner outside the country, we do assist in securing those partnerships. If you're a foreign company looking for a local company to partner, we do provide due diligence services among others, and connect you to those companies. We don't only focus on foreign companies that are looking to invest in Ghana, we also focus on Ghanaian companies that are looking to expand and better understand the market. We have a host of industry experts that help you understand that.
We work for a number of brands in Ghana as well as global. We work for brands like ABSA, formerly Barclays Bank. We work for International SOS. We work for Honda. We work for Jetro and a whole host of other firms, and we have clients in Ghana and across the globe. So we are happy to extend our services to you as well and to serve you. Our name is Famous, which simply means reliable in Latin, and we are simply inspired to deliver value.
Hi guys, do you need an emergency visa to Ghana? You find yourself stranded somewhere in the city, or there is no Ghana embassy or consulate in your city of residence, then visa on arrival is definitely the thing that you need to be able to travel to Ghana. So here at Famous, we facilitate visa on arrival in 2 to 3 working days. The official visa on arrival fee is $150 irrespective of nationality and also whether you're an adult or a child. To be able to get this done for you, we need the following documents. Number one, we need your passport scanned copy. We also need your flight booking and your hotel booking as well, especially if you are sleeping in a hotel. If you are lodging with a friend, just share your address and that's good to go. And additionally, we also need to know the purpose of your travel to Ghana. With all this, you just send it to us, and in 2 to 3 working days, your visa on arrival approval will be ready. We will send this to you, and all you need to do is to print a copy, and you can use this copy to do all your immigration and departure formalities. And upon arrival in Kotoka Accra Airport, your visa will be issued without you having to make any additional payment. We have done so many visas for so many people, and we are happy to serve you as well. We also give you 100% money back guarantee, such that even if you pay and you don't get the visa, we will refund 100% of your money to you, because we know we are so good at what we do. So we look forward to working with you. Just reach out to us, drop us an email, and we will reach out to you and get it done for you. Thank you.
Are you traveling to Nigeria? Maybe you have applied online on the online visa platform. It is stuck in there. You are not hearing feedback from them, and yet you have an urgent pending travel just around the corner. Don't worry. Famous Advisory provides visa on arrival services. In 48 hours, we will get you sorted. All you need to do is to send us your passport scan copy, your flight booking, and your passport size photo. We provide 100% money back guarantee for your visa on arrival service. If we don't get it for you, we will pay you back. We handle all the documents that needs to go with the application, the introductory documents, and all you need. Give you the